Welcome to Dr. K Speaks. I'm Dr. K. I have a really important message for you today. Today, I wanted to talk about Kyrie Irving. I noticed that as I look on social media, I don't see a lot of posts about him anymore. And about 3 weeks ago, Kyrie put out a really important message to the millennials that should not die. He called on the millennials to wake up. He talked about the shift that is happening. He called on the millennials to stop being distracted mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And he also talked to the millennials about how they are being programmed by the system as it relates to topics such as love, relationships, finance, culture, and more. So millennials, it is really important. If you haven't seen his video, then go back and look at it, because Kyrie is aware of what's going on. And he knows that if your generation, who is the next generation is going to be leading things, if you guys don't make a change, then things are going to really go downhill. Now, another reason why I really wanted to talk about this subject is because I've been listening to Ye and his interviews, and he's been talking about people being programmed and how it's time for people to reprogram themselves. And I also listened to Dalton. He's the author of From Hebrews to Negroes. I listened to an interview, and within his interview, he talked about the same thing, that it's time for people to rewire their thinking. And then when I saw the movie, Woman King? And near the end of that movie, spoiler alert, I'm just going to give a little bit of it, but the king was talking to the people about rewiring the thinking. I said, my goodness, I have got to speak on this subject, because all of my subscribers know that I am all about rewiring the brain. I'm a doctor of psychology. I have rewired my own brain, and I am in the business of helping others to rewire their brain. So that's what I do for a living. So now I thought it was very important that I speak to this, because Kyrie did ask for the elders to show up and support, right? So now I'm hearing a lot of people talking about rewiring the brain, reprogramming your thinking. But guess what? A lot of people don't know how to do it, and I know how to do it. So I'm just here to give you a little bit of brain 101 just to get you started. And if you want to know more, then look at some of my other videos where I actually break down the process of how to rewire your brain. So let me just start with this. All of our brains are wired for programs. The majority of our day, we walk around on automatic program, just doing things subconsciously. And those programs are our habits. Now, the system knows that we operate from programs, and they know how to get the programs into our brain. How do the programs get into our brain? The programs get into our brain from us being repetitiously exposed to something. The more you hear something over and over again, then that will be programmed into your brain more than likely as a belief system. Even if you are not consciously aware of what belief systems you have, guess what? On automatic pilot, because you're programmed to believe that, you're going to be behaving that way. And then if you do something over and over again, then that is going to turn into a program. Because remember, a program is a habit. Now, you've been programmed ever since you showed up on the planet. We all have, because that's just how the brain is wired. Our parents or your caregivers programmed you, your teachers programmed you, and whatever else you learned along the way that you were repetitiously exposed to, you were programmed. But now guess what? Some of your programs are going to be good, and some of your programs are going to be unhealthy, not so good. And you can reprogram yourself. You can rewire your brain. Brain 101, just really simply, how do you rewire your brain? First of all, it's going to be important for you to start to identify those habits that you have that you don't like. And then you identify what habits you want to have, because remember, the habits are programs. So you start by just doing one at a time. Okay, here is a program that I have, a habit that I have. It's a belief system, and it's unhealthy. It's not taking me where I want to go in life. So then what you do is you come up with a replacement program that you want to be in your brain, a replacement belief system that you believe is going to take you where you want to go. And here's how you get it into your brain. You have to repetitiously make sure that you focus on this new program that you want to be wired into your brain. And how will you do that? When you recognize yourself focusing on something that is relative to this belief system that you want to get rid of, right? You have to consciously, when you find yourself focusing on that, you have to consciously make yourself say this new belief system that you want in your brain. Because remember that the belief system that you have now, i.e. your program, your habitual way of thinking about things, it got in there through you repetitiously focusing on it or repetitiously being exposed to it. Same way with behaviors. How do you change a behavior? You identify what behaviors you want to change, and then you identify what behavior you want to change it to. So it's going to be your replacement program. And then whenever you catch yourself going into this behavior that you know you don't like and the one that you want to change, then you have to consciously make yourself do this new behavior that you want to do. And when you do that over and over and over and over again, then guess what? You will have reprogrammed your brain and you will have a new behavior. So remember, our programs are habitual ways of thinking about things, which is your perception, which is being manipulated by the system. And your programs are also your behaviors, which again is being manipulated by the system. And guess what? All of us are going to operate from programs no matter what. So I say, since our brains have been wired to operate from programs, let those programs be your own. Even the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And as a man thinketh, so is he. That's all about reprogramming yourself, transforming yourself. Transform means to change, and you can rewire your brain. I encourage you to check out my other videos so that you can learn different strategies, because I just gave you one strategy of how to rewire your brain, but there are other strategies, a host of other strategies that you can use to rewire your brain. And guess what? If you don't rewire your brain, then you're going to continue to go through life on automatic pilot, like a robot, with whatever the habits are that you have right now, even if those habits aren't taking you in the direction that you want to go in. Even if those habits are creating distress and misery in your life, because you're doing it subconsciously and you're not aware of it, you will continue to do it. So to all the millennials, and I just want to speak to everybody as well, it's going to be important to make a change. Don't just allow yourself to walk around on automatic pilot because a system has programmed you to believe that you're something that you're not, and has programmed you to behave in ways that are not going to even take you where you want to go in life. Rewire your own brain. Reprogram your own brain. You can do this. I support you. Peace. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe so that you can be aware of all of the videos that I have already posted and ones that I will continue to post.